So I get a lot of questions about crank anchors, but the main question I get is how did we build so many puppet characters? To give you an idea of how many characters, just in the first few seasons, we had over 4,500 different puppet characters for that show. I don't think there's ever been a show more ambitious or consistent than Crank Anchors. We achieved some amazing things with that, and I'm very proud of everything that we were able to do. The only way that happened was we had a core group of main characters. And if you watch the show, you know those as the main caller characters. Those puppets were built by Bob Flanagan's company, Den Design, before the first season of the show. And we had about 10 main characters. In order to make all those other puppet characters, all the guest callers or all the marks, which were the people that were answering the phone on the other end, and everything going on in the background, we knew we weren't going to be able to build hundreds of puppets every single day. That just wasn't a reality. What we did is we set up an in-house shop with the production, and we created what we called crank blanks, which were basically like Mr. Potato Head style puppets. We had an assortment of head shapes, different head shapes, different body shapes, different arms like live hands and rod hands, and all different skin tones. And we had a chart of those that were handed over to the production designers. It was Pete Girardi and Todd James from Funny Garbage, and they stayed on the show. And they basically would listen to the phone calls, and they would envision what they thought these characters sounded like or what the background ones would sound like, and they would have that reference chart. So they could be like, well, this one sounds like this, and I think this head shape will work and this body shape. And let's give them live hands so they can do more action, or let's give them rotted hands so they could, do different things. And they would draw custom faces and costuming over those blank characters. So we started out the first season with about 10 blanks, and those 10 blanks made over 1,000 different characters. Our puppet shop, we had extremely fortunate to have an award-winning puppet team of builders, costumers, hairstylists, and prop makers. The team we had were so amazing and able to make this happen, where these drawings then would get done and handed off to the puppet shop, and in a matter of days they would create facial features, eyes, wigs, hair, ears, teeth, costumes to bring these characters to life. And we shot this show so fast. You can imagine the first season, we were shooting 5 segments a day, or 5 halves of calls. So if there are 5 calls in a show, there's 10 segments. There's one on each side. We would shoot 5 segments a day. Those segments could have anywhere from 2 to 12 characters in every segment. So on the average, we were probably in the 40 to 50 puppets a day range. So as those puppets finished a shot or one setup, they would come back to the shop and immediately get changed over. And they may even appear in 2 different things in the same day, or pieces of them would. And this is how the show progressed. The second season, when we moved to Los Angeles, we had a bigger shop. We got a bigger shop, we brought more people in, and we made more blanks. So we upped our blanks probably to about 20 blanks and added a few more regular new characters. And that's basically how the show worked. If not for the team that we had, from the design team all the way down to the on-set wranglers that were getting things back and forth, the show never would have happened. We were very lucky, but that's how we did it. So we had our core cast of characters who were always the same. Occasionally we would do costume changes on them, but not often. And then we had our blanks. I think by the end of the 3rd season, we had a little over 30 different blank characters. And as you can imagine, the show grew each year, so the demands on the characters grew as well. So, but that was it. So that's our quote crank blank puppet characters. They're basically an anything or a whatnot type of character, but we were very specific with our design team of what we had and what they could work with, which really helped out. One thing we did end up, though, at the end of the 3rd season, I would say we had over 1,000 pairs of eyes. We saved everything. So we had a huge cache of wigs, of eyebrows, of tattoos. The shop would create fabric tattoos that were top sticked onto the puppets to make them look like they had tattoos. The wigs, the costumes. We had a huge costume library, which was amazing because at that point, too, the show had grown. We were able to pull stuff and reuse things, which really helped out a lot. But that's it. That's kind of the story of the Crank Blanks, and how we were able to accomplish so many puppets on the show in such a short amount of time. And again, I can't be more grateful for the team that we had on board that made that possible. I think we pioneered a lot of different techniques, a lot of different materials, a lot of ways of adapting existing things to make things happen, and in a really, really quick turnaround. So that's it. And I hope that answers your question about our Crank Yankers puppets, and happy puppeting.